So the main goal is to obviously
blend this.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I haven't had my hair colored for about 5 weeks or 6 weeks, and I realize that it's very much faded and kind of looks brassy.
Totally.
And okay, when I was initially first looking, I was looking at people who had my hair and in transition, but I realized it should be the transition piece you want. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Both work. I'd like to see both.
Okay, well, that's what I sent you, that one and that one.
Mm-hmm.
It's just from yours. And then this morning, I saw that one too. Because, yeah, so I don't have to be blonde at all. It just kind of has gotten lighter just from the sun. It's not that...
Do you mind if you're blonder?
No.
No? In these photos, do you like the depth of all the pictures?
I like the texture, or I mean the different colors.
Yeah, the dimension.
Yeah. But I know in the back I don't have as much
Gray.
gray.
So the only thing is you're pretty white, like salt right here. And then the back gets a little bit more pepper. And all those clients, they have a lot more dark than you do. So if I do those colors on you, I don't think it's gonna blend as well.
Okay.
I think you have to go a little bit blonder than all those photos, meaning that you would lose the dimension.
So it would look just more solid blonde.
Because you're naturally pretty solid of a silver in the front.
Yeah.
So if I do anything darker, you're still gonna feel like this is darker than your regrowth.
Yeah. And I don't want it to be darker because I don't want to have
you don't want the
differentiation.
Yeah, so essentially I feel like you need to go blonder than all these photos.
Okay. And again, I knew that I would see you and you would see this.
Yeah, that's the only thing, like, because look at here. It's pretty, you see that? It's very white right there.
Yeah.
If I do that blend right there, you're gonna have the same problem.
Right.
Yeah, so we could do like a really heavy highlight if you want to preserve some of the dark a little bit and go from there and see how you feel. But overall, when you start growing this out, this whole front part is a lot lighter than the rest. So when it grows out and we do blend it, the best blend would be to have that really blonde.
Okay, so I want the best blend. So this can just grow. So I don't have to go every 5 weeks and get roots.
Yeah, I'm just asking, would you be okay with being super blonde in the front?
Like super blonde, like how much?
Super blonde.
Like white blonde.
Because that's what is your natural.
And then what would the back?
We can do it dimensional. Similar to those, maybe a little bit more solid, but in the front, if you really want it to blend, you gotta be super blonde. Because you're so, it's already just naturally so light. Yeah.
So, colorist I had a while back, a couple of years ago, said, she goes, you don't want to go gray because you don't have good gray. It's not going to look great with your skin. That's what she said, but that was 3 years ago.
That's done.
Okay, yeah.
So it's done. I think it'll look good.
Okay.
But that's also just my preference.
Yeah.
If you don't feel like it's gonna make you feel good, then don't do it.
No, I think it's going to make me feel good. I'm gonna
show you an example.
Okay, show.
Here it is. The client right before you, actually, we did a very solid application on her. We don't have to go as solid. We can do some foil since in the back here you have some depth. And I could just do a heavy highlight in the front, but on her, she had all white.
Oh.
And we did it on her, and she ended up not loving how blonde it was in the front because she's used to having dark around her face. It's this client. Very similar to yours. And we did a solid because she was white like that all over her head, like even in the back, everything is white. So we did solid. I didn't take a picture of how she left today, but she ended up not loving that it was so blonde around her face and everything. So now what we do is this blonde is starting to just grow out, and we've now transitioned her to do a demi root at her root. But she still has that line of demarcation like this one. It's a lot softer, it's not as solid, but those would basically be your only two options. To either go more of the solid blonde route for it to blend like your gray, or to start incorporating demi later, but then you'll still have that dark to light root growth.
So I don't want the dark to light growth. I don't want the growth.
Okay, but that's what I'm saying, is that like, see how hers is pretty blonde?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what essentially to blend best with your hair would be my goal for you. Not solid like hers, but like maybe in the front be something similar to that. Okay. In the back we can start breaking it up because you have some pepper back here, that's fine. But in the front where it's all white, I would prefer, and it would blend best if we just got it super blonde. Okay,
so make this super blonde and then it goes into some more salt and pepper back here.
Yeah. In this process too, you have this warm base color in between the highlights. You're still going to see them after today because I'm not going to low light them. The reason why I don't low light them is because when you come back in next time, I'm going to highlight them.
Okay.
So why darken it if we're going to highlight it next time? So, and the low light does fade, so it doesn't make sense to me to do that. So you'll still see that color in between, but I'll do such a blended highlight, you'll see mostly blonde.
Okay.
Okay. And then are we doing a haircut?
Yeah. I actually have an appointment for Sunday that I just canceled. And she works at a salon in public.
Okay. Yeah.
So, yeah.
Okay. How much does she want to cut off?
So last time, so it used to be all blunt.
Okay, above the shoulder?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then like we let it grow out. And then she did she layered a lot here, which is a little too much, I think.
I don't like to layer my bobs.
Yeah.
I like to texturize it, take out weight, so it's not like bulky on the bottom.
I think that's...
But I don't like to layer it because it starts to look kind of mullety in my opinion.
Well, yeah, and this is so thin now on that side.
Yeah, we'll work on getting that a little bit thicker and having it very consistently, like the thickness. Okay. We'll work on that.
Okay.
Yeah, and then just like, because it does feel denser back here, and I do see this piece. Yeah. Okay. So today you'll still see the warmth in between highlights. I'm going to do a very heavy highlight around the face where you are mostly white. It's not going to be perfectly silver today. You're still going to have a little bit of warmth here and there, but at least you'll be lighter and it'll blend and grow nicer than this previous color.
Okay.
Okay. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Sorry that the consultation was so long. I just feel like it's really important to do a very thorough consultation for a new client who isn't entirely sure or on what kind of look they want, or what they're seeking is not really the best route for them. So I wanted to take the extra time to explain to her what I would recommend based off of what her essential goal was versus what she wanted. And her goal was to just have something that didn't feel like her roots were growing in lighter than the color that is on those mids and ends. We want essentially something that is going to just blend and grow out the best with her natural hair. We don't really want anything that is going to make her feel like she needs to get her roots done too fast. Like, that's not the point of gray blending. Or at least for me, I will always recommend a look that really gives the most longevity for a client, because me personally as a stylist, that's what I love and what I would want for myself. So that's typically what I recommend my clients. Now, not everyone cares for my input or what I would suggest, and that's okay. But I could tell that she kind of trusted what I had to say based off of her goals, and it mattered to her more that her roots weren't light compared to the regrowth versus her staying dark. And a lot of times too with a client, whether they have that goal, they might change their mind later down the line once they see the hair color on them, which is totally fine. I don't get upset or anything like that if we happen to do this huge transformation and then a client changes their mind because they realize that being too blonde isn't really making them feel their best, and that's totally fine. There's so many different routes around it that we can take. And that's what I'm here for as a professional, to suggest what would be best based off of what they are feeling when they come back in my chair. So really quick I just want to dive in with my technique. If you guys are new, I usually start in the back. I do some detail hairline foils around the nape, take a center section. You can see I'm completing the center mohawk section in the front here. And I usually do a few foils back to back. Since she is lighter and primarily really silvery white around her hairline, I would say it's about like maybe 3 inches from her hairline. She's pretty solid white, and she doesn't have a lot of pepper or depth in her hair, so I'm just going in and really just slicing, getting as much of that orange color that she really doesn't want in her hair anymore to kind of blend with her regrowth. And again, like I said in the consultation, I'm not really going to be doing any type of low light. Now, that is totally optional. That is your preference. I personally don't see a reason to, because the toner does kind of tone out the warmth a little bit, and a low light will always fade because it is color and all color fades. So I just see no point in doing it when eventually we kind of want to highlight those warm pieces out anyways. So why add more color to it and make it darker or make it a little bit more difficult to lighten later? So now I'm going on to the side, connecting the side money piece, and for this technique I am weaving around the hairline, but everything else I'm pretty much going to be just slicing it, because we really just want to get a lot of this old orange color out of the way so that we can kind of start fresh and have a new canvas. And usually when I do an application like this and a client wants to preserve a lot of depth, but also getting rid of the orange and warmth out is a lot more important, I typically will go in with a very heavy highlight or placement. And when I say heavy, I mean these foils are really packed in there. They're going to be really close together. I'm trying to get rid of a lot of the warmth, but not make her too solid like we were doing a bleaching tone, but enough to where it overpowers the warmth in between her color. So her hair texture is about like a fine texture. She lifted to pretty much a clean level 9 and 10, and that's essentially kind of what we need to help with the more silver toners. This part is really crucial to kind of training your eye to know when to remove the foils. So that kind of just takes with practice and experience. And you could also see in those clips too, some of her ends were a little bit warmer, so I rinsed the root of them and then let the ends process for a remainder like few minutes, just to kind of help even out the highlights a little bit from root to ends. And then she was ready to get her toner. Also, I do want to mention that in between some of her foils where she had some bit of pepper and kind of connect the front to the back, I did use a demi in between her foils a little bit to kind of help blend that out, so she didn't feel like her roots were lighter than the ends again. And then after that, that was done while the foils were processing. So once all the foils were pretty much done, I did her root formula with a 5-0, And then the end formula, we did a 6-01 with a 9-12. And that's just to kind of give it an ashy look, but also give it some depth. And for the colors, I use the Danger Jones gloss toners. I strictly just use the Danger Jones gloss toners for any type of acidic application like this, which is like a gloss, demi-permanent, and I just prefer it because it has a really good ingredient blend that is so great for the hair because it has bonder in it, and it just makes the hair feel really soft and shiny and healthy. And overall, I feel like these gloss toners actually last in the hair compared to other demi-permanent lines that I have used in the past. I feel like my clients' toners do last a little bit longer versus other color lines, and that is huge, especially when you're doing a gray tone like this, because the ash tones tend to fade out very quickly in the hair, and I find that the gloss toners from Danger Jones, it does last a little bit longer and gives that longevity for all of my clients.
Yeah, it's so different. It's just such a shock to see what's, because it's so different. But
it's very different.
Yeah.
Alrighty guys, so here is the finished look. I absolutely loved it, and I felt like she loved it too, and even though it was a shock, she much preferred it over having the warmth in her hair. And I already know that this is going to fade out really pretty against her gray roots. And usually for this type of look, I ask my clients to try their best to go as long as possible between seeing me so that we have more of their natural root to kind of work with and utilize to create a softer blend against their natural hair. But that is it for this week's episode, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching and tuning in. And as always, I will talk to you guys next week.